Well, what a delight it is to be in Idaho, to be in Idaho Falls, and to have a tour here of Melaleuca. We have had a great visit. We're on the August district work period for Congress, and so the Speaker of the House gets to serve his own district and the whole country. So I've been traveling around, going around the nation, state to state, and visiting with great American success stories. Things that start as small businesses and become large operations like this one is a tremendous testament to the spirit of America. And so many happy employees here. I met a few on the way in this morning that have been with this company for, one lady said, 34 years. They take good care of their employees and they take good care of America. And this is a thriving business, as you all know. I don't need to tell you the history of this company because so many of you are local, but what a great story it is. And to see a facility like this and to understand the impact that our public policy has upon all of that. We just passed the One Big Beautiful Bill, the working families tax cut, and it's so important for so many sectors of the economy and for every American family, because in that one big bill, the reason we called it that, it's aptly named, because not only do we secure the border, not only do we ensure American energy dominance again, not only do we work on the principles of peace through strength by our investments there, but we included the largest tax cuts in U.S. history, as well as the largest spending cut at the same time. But there's tax incentives for businesses, for people who are investing in their facilities and growing their manufacturing facilities, adding more jobs, adding more employees. So many benefits in that pro-growth economy, so many benefits in the policies we put in the legislation are going to help companies like Melaleuca grow even more. And it will allow wages to rise all across the country and more opportunity for more people. We're super excited about that. Republicans in Congress worked really hard on that. President Trump was delighted to sign it into law, I think symbolically on Independence Day, July 4th. And people are going to see the great effects of that. I brought a couple of stats here about specifically what the Big Beautiful Bill will do for Idaho. You know, a couple of highlights. We made permanent, of course, the pass-through deduction for small businesses and the deductions for research and development and investing in plant property and equipment management. That's going to be a big thing for companies like this. We invest, of course, in unleashing American energy dominance, I mentioned, and what that will do for a company like Melaleuca. It will lower fuel costs. It's going to help them drive the products they manufacture cheaper and get them out distributed all over the region, all over the country. Additionally, for companies like Micron, of course, that represents responsible, I think they have 17,000 jobs in Boise alone. We've extended the tax credit for manufacturing semiconductor chips. That's going to help people of this state, and it's going to help America maintain our status as the last great superpower. But real quickly, for Idaho, the One Big Beautiful Bill delivers the following results. Real wage increases are estimated to be between $3,600 and $6,400 per individual. Real take-home pay increase between $7,200 and $10,200 for the average family in Idaho. 5% of workers in this state will benefit from the no tax on tips provision, which is really popular. 300,000 seniors in this state are going to benefit from the tax reductions and new credit we gave them on Social Security. 68% of workers in Idaho can benefit from the no tax on overtime provision we put in the bill. We protected an estimated 35,000 jobs with this legislation. 41,000 employers are potentially eligible for the 199A deduction. And we supported 28 opportunity zones in Idaho and that have already created about 4,000 jobs. So this is real common sense legislation for real people. It's going to make a real difference in real people's lives, and we're excited to deliver it. And I'm always excited to visit. It's my second trip here. I'm always fascinated to see what all's going on, and I'm so grateful to the Vandersloot family and everyone who hosts us here so graciously. So, any questions anybody have? I'll be happy to answer. Yes, sir.
Specifically, what makes Eastern Idaho important as one of your stops?
There's a lot going on here. There's been a lot of growth. We were talking about the growth just in the municipality here. I think the population went from 50,000 to 60,000 people just in recent years, because people are drawn to the opportunity and the growth that they see. And so what we see as our responsibility in Congress is to help fuel that as much as possible, to add to that and to allow more of it, because that makes America strong, and we all know that a strong America is good for the whole world, and our economic policy is a big piece of that. So we love what's happening in Idaho. It's a great state with great people. They're hardworking folks. They're traditionally minded. They just want a good opportunity, and we should do everything we can to foster that and give them that. So that's exciting. Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Speaker, one of the backbones we have here in Idaho is agriculture, specifically the dairy industry. A lot of Republican farmers have been coming to journalists with their concerns about, well, it's no secret that they relied heavily on labor to keep operating. At the same time, we have seen success with the stronger deportation policies and the tighter border security. How do you see Congress balancing the need to secure the border and enforce those policies with concerns of Idaho farmers who do need that labor, and in some cases it has been undocumented?
Yeah, it's a very important question. I come from a big ag district down in Louisiana myself. I've got one of the biggest ag districts in the country, and we have a lot of cattle as well, and lots of row crops and the rest. Balance is the right word. We have to maintain the rule of law. We have to ensure that federal immigration policy and federal law is being enforced. And to be frank, for 4 years under the Biden-Harris administration, it clearly wasn't. They opened the border wide. And it led to all sorts of chaos. And so we had, by some estimates, about 20 million illegal immigrants came across that border, illegal aliens, over the course of 4 years. And so it made the issue politically toxic. At the same time, we recognize that in some of these sectors, like agriculture, like the construction industry, hospitality, we're reliant upon migrant hands, migrant workers to come in. And these people abide by the law because if you come on a worker visa and you abide by the law, you do the job, and then you go back home. We have to foster that kind of thing. Some of these industries will clearly not survive without that, agriculture being chief among them. So Congress has to work through this. We have to apprehend and deport immediately all the dangerous criminal illegal aliens, which is the focus of the administration and Congress. And as it's happening, by some estimates, there's about 1.4 million clearly, truly dangerous people roaming the streets of America. I don't know the latest numbers, but I'm told we're maybe close to 300,000 of those have been apprehended and sent home already, so there's more work to do. But we also have to de-incentivize illegal border crossing, and we have. There were almost literally 0 illegal crossings over the border over the last month. It's an incredible thing to even comprehend. But now we've got to deal with what we do with these sectors of the economy and how we handle that, and there's a lot of ideas on the table, and Congress is working through it. There's a lot of work to be done. I think that should be bipartisan because everybody recognizes the same needs, and we got to do right by those who are providing the jobs and needing those hands. So we'll see how that shakes out. But it's a central focus for Congress and the White House, and we'll figure it out. So. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Speaker. OB3 and by extent this administration has emphasized domestic energy production as like a keystone of policy. I'm really curious to know, with Idaho National Laboratories being very close to us and a major employer in this area, I'm curious to know if we could expect any direction or emphasis toward it as a renewable energy and also nuclear energy producer.
Yeah, I'm very bullish on nuclear energy, and we're in all the above. Philosophy. I'm from the state of Louisiana, so we're a big, heavily reliant oil and gas state, of course. Liquefied natural gas is one of the biggest exports we have as a nation, and we've just expanded that with our European allies and others around the globe, so that will be great for the economy. But energy policy it equates to national security policy. It's the same. If you have a vibrant energy economy, then you can not only supply your own needs, you can export it to other countries, and it is a big factor in our superiority, our dominance as the world's last great superpower. So we have to do all that. A lot of what we eliminated in the Big Beautiful Bill was what the president likes to call the Green New Scam, right? There were some things that were done that were being heavily subsidized by American taxpayers, and we felt like it was unjust. And so we're winding down some of those tax credits and subsidies at the same time that we're ramping up energy production in other ways. And that's necessary because one of the things that is adding to this is the advent of AI and the tremendous amount of energy that will be needed to supply that and ensure that we stay on the front edge, dominant over China and other adversaries on that issue as well. So we need more energy production than we've ever had before. In fact, we need it as a factor of 5 or so. So you'll see a lot of that. The data centers are being built around the country and to try to supply those needs, but we need to tap every resource we can. So stay tuned on that. I think there'll be a lot more developments, and it's something that's also a big interest to Congress. And maybe time for one more, is that okay? Yeah. Yes, sir. Good, next one. Yeah.
I just, wildfires, a big issue in California, Idaho, Utah. What's the federal government doing to support the fight and the growth of wildfires in these states?
It's a big issue. We've lost lots of acreage over that, and It's about forest management is what we're trying to incentivize, proper, responsible forest management, because if you do that, you invest in that, you save a lot of loss on the back end, and we all know it. In states like California, they went the opposite direction, and the reason the LA wildfires were so destructive is, something that becomes an act of nature is exacerbated in its damage because of bad public policy, and they did not do the things necessary, clearing underbrush, managing the forest, to prevent that atrocity. Well, after the LA wildfires happened, a colleague of mine sent me a grainy video documentary that was produced in the early 60s, where they explained word for word exactly what happened with the Santa Ana winds in that same area, how the flame would go over the hills and it'd be unstoppable. And this is produced in 1962, and they gave the prescription of public policy on how to ensure that never happened. It was totally ignored by the leaders in California. It's bad governance that leads to some of this. So it's a hands-on approach. Congress is trying to foster this. The Department of Interior has spent a lot of time looking into this and trying to solve it. We've got Doug Burgum as the secretary, and he's extraordinary. He knows the issue well. And I think you'll see public policy advancing more responsible management, and we're going to encourage our local and state partners to do the same, because it's a whole team approach on that. So
Thank you.
thank you all so much for the time. I wish we had more. Great to be here, and I'm sure we'll be back again. So thanks a lot. Yeah.
Thanks everyone for coming by. Thank you.